Nicholas? Okay, good afternoon. So today I will be dealing with the muscles of the forearm. The forearm which are flexors and extensors. So flexor have got origin from the middle condyle and extensors have the origin from the lateral condyle. Now there are three muscles which are very important which will be coming for your exams. Those are flexor digitorum superficialis, flexor digitorum profundus and extensor digitorum. So these are the three muscles. Now I will be telling you all the three muscles one by one. First we will be seeing about flexor digitorum superficialis. Now this is flexor digitorum superficialis, the muscle. It has got two origins. That is, one is humeral head and another is the radial head. Now humeral head, the muscle is originating from the middle condyle. Okay, the muscle is originating from the middle condyle and the muscle is coming downwards like this. And also from the radial head there is a spiral line which is there on the anterior surface of the radius. So the muscle is originating from here like this. They both are joining together and forming an tendon. Okay, so we have got origin of the humeral head and the radial head. Humeral head and radial head. Radial head from a spiral line which is there on the anterior surface of the radius. The muscles they come together, they join together and they form a very thin tendon. This thin tendon will pass deeper to the flexor retinaculum. Now you know what is flexor retinaculum. So these tendons they pass below the flexor retinaculum, and after passing into the flexor retinaculum, they enter into the palm, and then they slit. They form a slits where they divide into these slits. They divide into, this is your first, this is thumb, this is second index finger, third middle finger, ring finger and little finger. Okay, now these tendons they go and attach from the second to fifth. Okay, that is second, third, fourth and fifth. They will not attach to the thumb. Okay, now what happens, this the tendons of this flexor digitorum superficialis, they bifurcate and they go and join on the both the sides of the proximal phalanx. Okay, they join on the proximal side phalanx. Okay, on the palmar surface, on the palm. Okay, not on the, this is on the proximal surface, not on the dorsal surface. Okay, they joined here. Okay, on the proximal surface of the phalanx. Okay, this happens to all the palms, second, third, fourth and fifth. Okay, this is the insertion. The muscles come and they insert on this surface like this. So we have got the origin. Origin is that it has got a humeral head and it has got the radial head. They join together, they form a small tendon, and that tendon it enters into the flexor retinaculum. They form into the slits, and the slits divides, bifurcate. Each slit divides into two, and they go on. They go and insert on the either side of the phalanx, proximal phalanx. Okay, these are the proximal phalanx. These are the distal phalanx. So they go and join on the proximal phalanx. Now, what is the nerve supply for the flexor digitorum superficialis? The nerve supply for the flexor digitorum superficialis is the medial nerve. Okay, now what are the actions? Now actions of the flexor digitorum superficialis is it flexes the proximal phalanx. It flexes the proximal phalanx, and also it helps in the flexion of the terminal phalanx. Okay, then it also helps in the flexion of the wrist joint. So this movement is done by the flexor digitorum superficialis. This movement, okay, that is flexion of the proximal phalanx, then flexion of the wrist joint. Okay, this is the origin, insertion, nerve supply, action of the flexor digitorum superficialis. Now coming towards the flexor digitorum profundus. Now this is the bigger muscle. Okay, this is a bigger muscle where major part of the flexor digitorum superficialis is on the upper one third of the anterior surface. Okay, anterior surface, medial surface and the posterior border of the ulna. It has got the upper, so one third part of the anterior surface, middle, this is the anterior surface, medial surface and the posterior border. You can see in the diagram, you go and see in the diagram where is the posterior border, where is the medial surface and anterior surface. So this muscle covers whole of the anterior surface of the upper one third of the ulna. Okay, then the medial surface and the posterior border. Okay, and also it forms an interosseous membrane between the flexor pollicis longus. So it has got interosseous origin also from the flexor. These both muscles they get united. It is called as interosseous muscle, intermuscular septum. Okay. Now this is the origin of the flexor digitorum profundus. Now same the muscle will become very thin, okay, and they form a tendon, and this tendon they enter again deeper to the flexor retinaculum. Then when they enter into the palm, okay, again they form a slits. Now these slits we have seen that they divide into two. Each slit will divide into two. But when they enter here, this flexor digitorum profundus, this slit again this is these are inserted on the second, third, fourth, and fifth digits. These slits will pierce. Now these are the slits of the flexor digitorum superficialis. Now what happens? The tendon of the flexor digitorum superficialis will be piercing between the flexor digitorum superficialis. Now these are the tendons of flexor digitorum superficialis. Then the flexor digitorum profundus tendon will come like this. Okay. Now these are the two slits of the flexor digitorum superficialis, and the tendon of flexor digitorum profundus will come in between, and they go and join on the distal phalanx. They go and join on the distal phalanx of the second, third, fourth, and fifth. Now we have got origin. I have told about the origin, upper one third of the ulnar, that is upper one third of the anterior surface, middle surface, and the posterior border. Okay. Also it has got the connection between the interosseous intermuscular septum. Then they passes deeper to the flexor retinaculum. They divide into slits, and then they insert on the middle surface of the second, third, fourth, and fifth of the distal phalanx. Say distal phalanx of the second, third, fourth, and fifth digit. Okay. Now what is the action? What is the action of this? They give the flexion of the distal phalanx. So this muscle will help in the gripping. This muscle will help in the gripping, and you can see that when you extend your wrist, this muscle you will find the tenacity. Okay, you will find the tenacity. You will find very hardness of this flexor digitorum profundus when you do like this. When you make a fist, and when you extend, you can see the hardness of the muscle. Okay, it is been best exposed when you do a fist and when you extend. So this is about the flexor digitorum profundus. Now extensor digitorum, it has got very limited. Okay, it originates only from the lateral epicondyle. Okay, it originates from the lateral epicondyle. They come downwards. They passes deeper to the extensor retinaculum. Okay, they are coming like this. Extensor digitorum does not have any of the origins from the ulnar or radial. They directly have origin from the lateral epicondyle. Now this is the lateral epicondyle. The muscles are not coming on the front, but they are going on the back side. Okay, again it is entering into the dorsum of the hand. Okay, dorsum of the hand, passing deeper to the extensor retinaculum. Here flexor retinaculum, but here it is extensor retinaculum. And after entering into the dorsum of the hand, they again supplied for the second, third, fourth, fifth digits of the distal phalanx. Okay, where they will be helping in extension of the phalanx. So when you are doing this movement, you can see your extensor digitorum muscle is being involved when you do like this. Okay, this is about the three muscles: flexor digitorum superficialis, flexor digitorum profundus, and extensor digitorum. So these are the muscles of the forearm. Okay, thank you.